Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ria. Today we're taking these fresh and healthy ingredients and we're going to create a nutritious and delicious meal you and your family will love. We'll make some stew, lamb and beef. I'll show you how to stew beef and lamb in the same pot. We will make a quick stir fry. Super nutritious stewed lentils. If you're interested, let's start cooking. Fill a pot with 12 cups of water because we're making 1 pound of lentils. We'll place it over medium heat and we'll wash the lentils. We'll pick through the lentils and then we'll rinse. Now we'll add in the lentils. We'll raise the heat to high, bring it to a boil, and then we'll lower the heat and cook the lentils for about 30 to 40 minutes. May take a little longer. Wash the carrots and all the veggies. The first thing you usually do is assemble your ingredients and then we'll prep. So this is the second step. Sometimes with organic carrots I don't scrape it. And now we'll prep the ingredients for the lentils. And since I'm also making a carrot rice, I'll prep the carrot for the carrot rice at the same time. So you just want to chop it fine cubes. Make it as large or small as you like. But when you have teens and kids, they don't like it chunky, so I'm going to cut it very small. And that's how you prep the carrot. Next we'll prep the tomatoes, cut it into cubes. I'll chop the tomatoes. Roughly chop because it will break down. I'll do 2 of these tomatoes, nice ripe tomatoes. We'll chop on half an onion. Next I'll chop about 4 scallions. These are mini bell peppers, and I'm just using 2. And then I'll chop a hot pepper. 1 celery stalk. And that should do it. I'll also chop a piece of this hot pepper to give it a nice little kick. Totally optional. I'll add here a tablespoon of that minced garlic. And I'll also chop a little bit of thyme my husband found in the garden under all the snow. Well, actually the snow has melted today. It's a nice day. Now we'll get ready to prep the meat. I have beef chuck shoulder cubed for stew. I have about 1.32 plus 1.28 pounds, which is about 2.5 pounds, $6.79 per pound, total $8.96 and $8.69. So it's a little bit expensive. Look for a cheaper quality if that's too expensive for you. So I have here the beef, and lamb. For the lamb, I have pasture-raised lamb, 0.72 plus 0.67, which is about 1.5 pounds, $10.99 per pound, 7.14, about $16. So it's really expensive. Look for it on sale. I'm going to cut this into pieces, the same size as the beef. So we're kind of splurging here today. It's a holiday here in New York. And it's a nice day, so a lot of reason to celebrate. The weather is nice for the first time in months. So I'll quickly cut this. If you don't like lamb, you can use chicken. Rinse with the juice of a lime, lemon, vinegar, or you can also use flour if you don't have. And then we'll drain. We'll rinse it a couple of times. Try not to get the seeds in there. The lentils have been boiling for about 40 minutes. Let's check it. It's soft. So we'll take off the stove. While the lentils are boiling, you add about 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil to a pan. And then we'll add about 4 teaspoons of brown sugar to start the stewing process for the lentils. The pan should be at least large enough to hold the lentils, or you can take whatever we're cooking here and add it to the lentils. So there are 2 options. Now we'll add the veggies. Never leave the pot. Walk away like I did. You'll stir to combine. And I'll cook this on low for about 15 to 20 minutes to develop the flavors, to soften the onions, and to really get all the flavors combined. And that's why you should do this start this about 30 minutes after you start boiling the lentils, so that you can easily throw this in the lentils once it's soft. So I'm going to cover and cook for 15-20 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now we'll cover the pot. I forgot to add some ketchup. I always like the addition of a little bit of ketchup. Now to stew the meat, I'll add about 2 tablespoons of oil. I use extra virgin olive oil. Use whatever feels right to you. Now that the pot and the oil is hot, I'll add in the brown sugar. Allow it to froth, expand, bubble and darken. Do not step away from the pot like I did just now. I went to have lunch, a quick lunch, because I'm hungry. So that's about 4 tablespoons of the sugar. We'll allow it to develop, and then we'll add in the meat. If it begins to smoke, reduce the heat to low. If the outside is cooking and the middle appears not to be cooking, then you just move the pot around to allow it to cook evenly. And you can even stir it, but it will stick to the spoon. Now I'll add in a bit of ketchup Ketchup is essential in a stew. Stir it immediately. That's a little noisy process. And now it has a lovely caramel color. Hopefully you can see that. I do not like seasoning my meat before because it usually does not give this nice color if you do. The seasoning just turns to a dark, dull color. So I'm going to cook this for 5 minutes and then I'm going to start adding the seasoning. In this bowl I have about a quarter of a very large onion, 2 scallions, a large tomato, and about 2 to 3 tablespoons of green seasoning, hot pepper, and again we found some more thyme in the garden. We're going to just chop this in here. It's nice and soft, surprisingly. It's still alive, surprisingly. And now I'm just going to add about a tablespoon of garlic to this, and then we'll add it to the pot. It's bubbling vigorously. I'm just continuing to turn it, to coat it nicely so that it will have an even, nice coating of that sugar. It's beginning to release its natural juices. It wants to start cooking. And now I'm going to add in the flavoring, the seasonings. You can also add a little bit of soy sauce in there if you wish. And some of you love all-purpose seasoning. You could add some, but I don't use that stuff. I like to keep it fresh. I like to keep it fresh, natural. But you can always alter to your requirements and your preference. Now I'll add a little bit of salt. We have 4 pounds of meat here, so I'll start with 3 tablespoons of salt. This is Himalayan salt. Table salt might be more potent, so you may have to use less. Just taste and add as you go. I'm also going to add about 2 teaspoons of black pepper. And we grind our black pepper once every couple of weeks. A little bit of ginger in here would be nice. I'm going to cover it and allow it to simmer, cook on low and slow for about 30 minutes, and I'll check every 5 to 10 minutes. Now we'll check on the veggies. We'll give it a stir. It's beginning to soften. I'll cover and cook another 10 minutes. Before I cover, I'll add about 2 teaspoons of salt and about a teaspoon of black pepper. Last stir. Cover and cook on low. Next, I'll chop a half of a large onion for the carrot rice. So I have a cup of chopped onions, and now I'll grate a carrot. Now we'll add this to the lentils, so if your pot is large enough, add the lentils to this. This is delicious and aromatic, and it's the flavoring base for our lentils. So now we'll add it to the lentils. Now we'll give it a nice stir and we'll boil it for 15 minutes just to combine all those flavors. We'll taste it, add more salt, or you could even add a little touch of sugar at this point to balance the flavors. Chopped parsley would also be nice here. The meat has been cooking for about 20 minutes. We'll give it a stir, then cover and continue to cook on low. Just clean down the sides of your pot. We'll finish up with parsley, cilantro, or any green herb you like. A little drizzle of olive oil, good quality olive oil, and a taste of salt and pepper, and you're done. And that's it, you're done. Healthy, delicious, nutritious stewed lentils, the Trini way. This is quite a large quantity, so save once it cools, put it in the freezer in some freezer containers. We'll add about 4 tablespoons of butter. Wow. 2 tablespoons olive oil. Now we'll add the onion and allow it to brown on the edges. We'll cook until it's brown on the edges. This is our first layer of flavor. Once that onion begins to caramelize, we'll sweeten. Now that the edges of the onion are brown, we'll add in the carrots. We have about 2 cups of carrots here. And we'll cook it for about 10 minutes to allow the carrots to soften. I'm adding the remainder of the garlic, about a tablespoon. That's 3 cloves. Now we'll add in the craisins. You can also use raisins, but because I have some left over from Thanksgiving, I need to use it up. This is about half a cup. And now I'll add in the rice. We'll just wait till maybe a minute just for it to plump up, and we'll add the rice. And this is jasmine rice. It was in the refrigerator for a day. You always boil extra to make a nice carrot rice. And we make carrot rice at the end of the month when it's time to go shopping again and we have leftover carrots. Also check out my Thanksgiving video for another variation on this carrot rice. The ingredients are very simple in this rice, but it packs a lot of flavor. The butter, along with the caramelized onions and the carrots, and the craisins or raisins really complement each other and make this extra special. So delicious, smells amazing. That butter and the rice toasting in that butter, it's really exceptional. I'm sure you're going to love it. If you haven't tried it yet, do give it a try. I've had this recipe on the blog for many, many years. Once it's thoroughly combined and the rice has heated through, it's done. Add a little bit of salt and black pepper to taste. This has been cooking for about 55 minutes. Now is a good time to check for the doneness. We'll do a test and see how tough it is and how much longer we need it to cook. So it's fairly tender. It's not fall apart tender. I'm going to add about 2 cups of water and allow it to cook for another, say 10 to 15 minutes, and then we're done. This has everything it needs. Let's give it a taste for salt. Absolutely delicious. That lamb and beef really is a great combination. It's a good marriage. I can see now why my Nana loved this combination. So once that water evaporates, I'm going to add 2 cups of hot water, like I said, and cover and cook it on low, and then we'll get ready to eat. What? I'm gonna finish off with a quick 5-minute stir fry. I have this squash here. I'm just gonna cut it. I already washed all my veggies. That was the part of the prep at the beginning. Cut it whatever shape or size you would like. I'm just gonna use about 2 cups of broccoli florets. I'm keeping this small and simple. I'm going to cut the green beans in half. I'm going to put this pot on the stove and add about 4 tablespoons of olive oil. I have 4 mini bell peppers, which I've already seeded. I'll just cut into little rounds. I have 4 small scallions. I'm going to slice 6 cloves of garlic, and this garlic is starting to grow, but we're still going to use it. And now we'll just throw everything in the pot and stir them up. Now we'll add it all to the pot and steam it. I'll sprinkle in some salt, Himalayan salt. Add salt to your liking. Black pepper, little, totally optional. The main flavoring here is the olive oil and the garlic. And the scallion. You really don't need much. You cover this and steam for 5 minutes. Or stir fry it on high. We're keeping it simple. This is like a palate cleanser. We have a lot of rich flavors going on with the lentils and the lamb and the beef. So we need something to balance all that richness. And this will do the trick. I'm going to cover it and steam it, and then we're done. And now we have a luscious sauce. It's nice and thick. The meat is fully cooked. The flavor is perfect. And that's it. We're done. We'll take off the heat and start plating. That's all there is to it, my sweet friends. A lovely meal for my family and yours. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave a lovely comment below if you would love to see my channel grow. Until next time, stay safe. Join me in saying a prayer for peace for our world. Cook, share, and love. Bye bye.